Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi Hari Haribo Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Padaprajaka Acharya Saraswati Sri Sriman. ISKCON BBT founder Charles Divine Grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Prabhupada Om Vishnu Pad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanai Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Gira Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Brajabhumi Namanam Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shila Achal Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Your most beautiful Lordship Shri Shukmini Dwarkadish Ki Jai. Shri Shukmini Dwarkanath Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Samabeta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Going back to home, back to Godhead Ki Jai. ISKCON Los Angeles Yatra Ki Jai. Brihad Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. International Food for Life Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. All glories to the seven devotees. All glories to the seven devotees. All glories to the seven devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Glory to the Prabhupada. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamatirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God and Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, and also unto Srila Prabhupada, who is a translator, commentator, and our spiritual master. Nashna Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly attending the Srimad Bhagavatam class and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, whose worship with transcendental songs comes established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're continuing our reading from the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is chapter 15, the Pandavas retire timely. Text number 35. Yes? Yeah. Yatha Matsyadi Rupani Dhatte Jayad Yatha Nataha Bhu Baraha Shapito Yena Jahao Touch Cha Kalevaram Yata Matsyadi Rupani Dhatte Jayad Yata Nataha Bhubharak Shapito Yena Yaho Touch Cha Kalevaram Yatha Matsyadi Rupani Dhatte Jayad Yata Nataha Bhuparak Shapito Yena Jaho Touch Kalevaram Yatha Matsyadi Rupani Dhatte Jayad Yata Nataha Bhuparak Shapito Yena Jaho Touch Kalevaram. Please chant. Tate Jahyad Yatanataha Bhuparak Shapito Yena Jahotatsha Kalevaram Vaishnavis. Bhuparak Shapito Jena Jahotatsha Kalevaram Yatamatyari Rupani Tate Jaya Yatanataha Bhuparak Shapito Yena. Shari Rupani Tate Jayad Yatayanataha Bhuparak Shapito Jaina Jahotatsha Kalevaram Yatamatyari Rupani Tena Yatanataha. So synonyms: Yata, as much as; Matsya Adi, incarnation as a fish, and so on; Rupani, forms; Tate, eternally accepts; Jahyat, apparently relinquishes; Yata, exactly like; Nataha, magician; Bhuparaha, burden of the world; Chapitaha, relieved; Yena, by which; Jahal, let go; Tat, that; Cha, also; Kalevaram, body. So Srila Prabhupada's translation for this verse: the Supreme Lord relinquished the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation and others. Please repeat. The Supreme Lord relinquished the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation and others. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is neither impersonal nor formless, but his body is non-different from him, and therefore he is known as the embodiment of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. In the Brihad Vaishnava Tantra, it is clearly mentioned that anyone who considers the form of Lord Krishna to be made of material energy must be ostracized by all means. And if by chance the face of such an infidel is seen, one must clean himself by jumping in the river with his clothing. The Lord is described as Amrita, or deathless, because he has no material body. Under the circumstances, the Lord's dying or quitting his body is like the jugglery of a magician. The magician shows by his tricks that he is cut to pieces, burned to ashes, or made unconscious by hypnotic influences, but all are false shows only. Factually, the magician himself is neither burned to ashes nor cut to pieces, nor is he dead or unconscious at any stage of his magical demonstration. Similarly, the Lord has his eternal forms of unlimited variety, of which the fish incarnation, as was exhibited within this universe, is also one. Because there are innumerable universes, somewhere or other, the fish incarnation must be manifesting his pastimes without cessation. In this verse, the particular word tate, eternally accepted, and not the word ditwa, accepted for the occasion, is used. The idea is that the Lord does not create the fish incarnation. He eternally has such a form, and the appearance and disappearance of such an incarnation serves particular purposes. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 24 and 25, the Lord says, quote, "The impersonalists think that I have no form, that I am formless, but that at present I have accepted a form to serve a purpose, and now I am manifested. But such speculators are factually without sharp intelligence. Though they may be good scholars in the Vedic literatures, they are practically ignorant of my inconceivable energies and my eternal forms of personality. The reason is that I reserve the power of not being exposed to the non-devotees by my mystic curtain. The less intelligent fools are therefore unaware of my eternal form, which is never to be vanquished and is unborn." End of quote. In the Padma Purana, it is said that those who are envious and always angry at the Lord are unfit to know the actual and eternal form of the Lord. In the Bhagavatam also it is said that the Lord appeared like a thunderbolt to those who were wrestlers. Shishupal, at the time of being killed by the Lord, could not see him as Krishna, being dazzled by the glare of the Brahmajyoti. Therefore, the temporary manifestation of the Lord as a thunderbolt to the wrestlers appointed by Kamsa, or the glaring appearance of the Lord before Shishupala, was relinquished by the Lord, but the Lord as a magician is eternally existent and is never vanquished in any circumstance. Such forms are temporarily shown to the asuras only, and when such exhibitions are withdrawn, the asuras think that the Lord is no more existent, just as the foolish audience thinks the magician to be burnt to ashes or cut to pieces. The conclusion is that the Lord has no material body, and therefore he is never to be killed or changed by his transcendental body. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvashesha Shunyavani Paschatadeshtarine Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtang Stapitang Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyahang Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagadatam Sahagana Raganatan Patam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Purjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Haripre Vancho Kolpatarubhya Shakripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pashabhinevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we understand that now Sutta Goswami is speaking, and Prabhupada gave also the reason why he's giving these verses, because the sages at Naimisharanya, after hearing about Krishna's disappearance and the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, they were feeling aggrieved. Krishna's disappeared in such a form, apparently killed by a hunter, and the Yadu dynasty destroyed each other with clubs. This is all very heart-rending type of news to hear. Bad news, as we would say. So Sutta Goswami is putting it into context, reminding them that the Yadu dynasty members, they either came from the spiritual world or they came from the higher planetary systems, the demigods, and therefore they're still existing. We're all eternally existing, so what to speak of the Lord himself? There's no question of death for God. If there's no question of death for the individual soul, where is there any question of death for God, the source of the individual soul? So, so relax, calm down. Don't be so emotional. Try to understand philosophically what's going on here. Krishna comes into this world to, as he says, Purichanaya sadhanam vinashait chaduskritam dharma sangstapanam. Yeah, Sambhavami yuge yuge. I appear in every millennium to protect the devotees, destroy the demons, and to reestablish real religion. So he accomplished that, and now he was ready to move the show on to the next destination. And he was taking his associates with him. Some again were eternal associates like Arjuna, Once one devotee wrote to Prabhupada and asked, is it the same Arjuna that travels with Krishna from universe to universe? And Prabhupada said, yes. The same Arjuna is going from universe to universe with Krishna. So this drama is unfolding of them appearing in this world and Arjuna appearing to fall into ignorance, and then Krishna enlightens him, and like that. It's a show that keeps moving from universe to universe. And so Sutta Goswami is again establishing the real philosophy behind what's going on here, so that the sages can calm down and not be emotional hearing of the bad news. Here in this purport, Prabhupada mentioned, as the verse says, Matsyadi, incarnations of the Lord beginning with Matsya. We know that Jayadev Goswami wrote that very beautiful poem, Dasavatar Stotra, and Prabhupada actually recorded it on several times, not just once. In different melodies, he recorded this to show it's very important for us to understand. Why? Because in just those 10 stanzas, actually 11 because he summarizes in an 11th verse, but in 10 stanzas he gives the important incarnations of the Lord, and just a few lines what their mission was. So just by reading and hearing from a bona fide source like Srila Prabhupada, that Dasavatar Stotra, one knows more than all the scientists in the world lumped together who are speculating about the origins of the universe, why it's here, and how it came from where. You know more just from that one song of Jayadev Goswami. So Prabhupada concentrated in his purport mostly on Matsya here. Pralaya payadi jale jritavana sipedam vihita vahitra charichamakedam keshavadrita mina sharira jaya jagadishari. So this is the first of the 10 incarnations that are mentioned. So this fish incarnation, as Prabhupada says in the purport, it's not a temporary form or a form that the Lord assumed once and then. No, this Matsya Leela is going on, just like the Bhagavad Gita Leela is going on, and the road show is going on. So this Leela of appearing as Matsya, and then after Matsya, Kurma, the tortoise, and then Varaha, yes, and then Nishinga, and then Vamanadev, and then Parshuram, and then Ram, and then Balaram, and then Buddha. So all of those have gone already, right? And like I said, in just a few lines, he gives their mission, why they came. For instance, Lord Buddha, Nindasi yagya vidir ahaha shutijatam sadaya ridaya darshati pashagatam keshavadrita Buddha sharira jaya jagadishari. Why did Lord Buddha appear? And why do the Vaishnavas consider him to be incarnation of Krishna? It's not that we're being kind to the Buddhists and trying to include them. No. Again, Vaishnavacharyas have established that Lord Buddha is an incarnation of Krishna. And why did he come? Nindasi yagya vidir ahaha shutijatam. First of all, he gave up connection to the Vedas. Why? Because he was trying to stop animal slaughter, and some people were saying, well, in the Vedas, animal sacrifices recommended. So Nindasi, he said, forget the Vedas, just follow my instruction. And therefore, Prabhupada said the Buddhist philosophy was not accepted in India, because you cannot disrespect the Vedas. The Vedas have to be accepted. And therefore it was driven out. So it went east. Asian countries, as far as Japan, they all accepted Buddhism, but in India it wasn't so accepted. Nindasi yagya vidir ahaha shutijatam sadaya hridaya darshiti pashagatam. He was showing compassion, heartfelt compassion for the plight of the poor animals. Because in the name of sacrifice, and we see even today, so many so-called modern religions, they have some ritual sacrifice of animals, an excuse for eating them. But that was not the reason for the Vedic animal sacrifice. As Prabhupada said many times, and as Lord Chaitanya himself said in his discussion with Chankazi, that it was for proving the efficacy of the Vedic mantras. An old animal, cow, bull, would be put into the fire and would come out rejuvenated with a new body. But because in Kali Yuga, there are no such Vedic brahmanas who can chant the mantras precisely, and not just chanting precisely, but living a pure life. It's not just a matter of chanting. You have to have the lifestyle also. You have to actually be a brahmana, in other words. You can't just be faking it, and learn Sanskrit and chant very nicely, but your lifestyle is horrendous. No. You have to actually be a Brahmana. You have to actually be a Brahmana. You have to have the qualities of a Brahmana, qualifications of a Brahmana, and then chant the mantras precisely, and then the result will be there. But because these ingredients are missing, therefore, in Kali Yuga, animal sacrifice is forbidden. Right? Who knows that verse? The 5 things that are forbidden. Yes, go finish it. Ashvamedha Gavalam Sanyasam Palapaichakam Devarena Stopatim Kalo Pancham Vivarvarya. These 5 things are not to be done in Kali Yuga. Ashvamedha, the horse sacrifice. Gavalambam, cow sacrifice. Sanyas, one should not take sannyas. Palapaichakam, the ritualistic eating of flesh. Devarena Satopatim, having your brother impregnate your wife because you're impotent. That is not to be done. So in previous ages, when people were actually advanced and elevated and doing things in the proper mood and for the proper reason, these things were allowed. Again, one could have the horse sacrifice. One can do the cow sacrifice. It was done properly and for the right reason. But in Kali Yuga, by imitating, one is simply causing pain to oneself, either immediately or in the future. Just like we know, one of the most horrendous industries around the world is the animal slaughter industry. Horrible. Horrible. It's one of the most dangerous industries to work in. Even if you do it traditionally, they used to use just knives and cleavers. Nowadays they do it with these high-speed machines, and they're chopping, and quite often they chop their own fingers off or something. Hello? So very, very dangerous industry, nasty business. And that's why it said the butcher shouldn't live or shouldn't die. Because while alive, they're engaged in nasty business. And after death, they're going to suffer like anything. So the sage blessed the butcher. Don't live, don't die. So sannyasa. So you may say, well, why sannyasa is being awarded still in our society? Prabhupada explained that in the Vaishnava culture, and we see he took sannyas, his spiritual master took sannyas. In the Vaishnava culture, it's not only done, it's encouraged. That Panchasordam Vanambrajet, after 50, one should give up family life. Take to the Vanaprastha ashram. Traditionally, that meant going to the forest, living very simply, wearing bark, eating just forest fruits and like that. In this age, that's not practical. So in this age, being a Vanaprastha means no more sex life, give up the business to the children, and just preach. Preach. Travel and preach, or preach in your local area, wherever you are. Just preach. Hear and chant. That's the business of the Vanaprastha. And then the men, after a certain time, can take sannyas. And really, really, satnyas, nothing else. Fearlessly preach. No more fear of what's going to happen. Am I going to be taken care of? What is my medical? And no. Sannyas means you don't worry about any of that. Just go out and preach and leave it up to Krishna to take care of you. In the household or ashram, yes, you depend on God, but you have to also work. You can't just sit home and depend on God to send your daily bread. No, you have to work. You have to have some occupation. Traditionally, one of the 4 varnas, but whatever it is nowadays you're doing, doctor, lawyer, bus driver, whatever you do, you have to do it with the aim of maintaining your family and also giving some portion of your income to spread Krishna consciousness. But then when you get to the Vanaprastha stage, no more work, ideally. And then certainly the sannyas stage, there's no question of a sannyasi having a business. Generally, that's absolutely not to be done. Simply hear and chant. So we have to accept all of these injunctions coming through the disciplic succession that we're following. Other disciplic successions may do something else, but we're in the Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya, so whatever injunctions come down in our Sampradaya, we follow. And we follow, we don't imitate. The tendency is there, especially in the neophyte stage, to imitate advanced devotees, but we shouldn't do that. Just like recently when somebody came to me and asked, why do some people, when we normally use the singular, like if somebody asked me, when were you born? I would say, I was born in 1952. But some people would say, we were born in 1952. So somebody was confused. Why do they use this, what we refer to in English as the royal we? just like the Queen of England. She always refers to herself in the plural. We are very happy to be here at this function today, and we bless everybody to have a good day. We. She never says I. So this is called the royal we. Where does it come from? And we see Prophet also did that. He referred to himself in the plural. Sometimes in the year 1972, we were in Vrindavan, but that's Prabhupada. We're not supposed to imitate. Sometimes devotees imitate Prabhupada in ways that they shouldn't. It's not that if you imitate Prabhupada's mannerisms, that makes you advance. Like one devotee, I'm not going to name any names, but would always give class with the eyes closed. So devotees came to me and said, why does this person always close their eyes when they give class? So I went to the person and asked, why do you close your eyes when you give class? Devotees find it impersonal. You're disconnected. You're not connecting with your audience. Why do you give? Well, Prabhupada didn't. And I said, well, I have to tell you, I was in many, many classes that Prabhupada gave in New York, here in New York, in Mayapur, and Vrindavan. Prabhupada didn't always keep his eyes closed. Otherwise, he wouldn't see that somebody wasn't sitting properly. Sit properly. Or that they were falling asleep. It wasn't just by omniscience. No, he had his eyes open. He didn't keep his eyes closed all the time. Yes, sometimes Prabhupada closed his eyes. But he didn't keep his eyes closed all the time. So there's two things Prabhupada mentioned many times. Anukaran and Anusharan. Anukaran means to imitate. Anusharan means to follow. So we're meant to follow, not imitate. Don't imitate the mannerisms of a pure devotee and think that makes you advance. We're supposed to follow the injunctions given by the pure devotee. Follow the instructions given by the pure devotee. Not to imitate. And so here in this section, we see the Pandavas are about to retire, which doesn't mean, again, they give up devotional activities. It means they're quitting this mortal plane and moving on to the next assignment as given by Krishna. For some, that means going back to Godhead. Some, it may mean remaining in the material world at least for some time. I know I want to go back to Godhead. I'm not like Surya, who's praying to come back and distribute books again, very, very advanced. All glories to you, but this material world is such a horrible place. I want to get out of here. And Prabhupada recommended that. That's why he came up with that phrase, back to Godhead. If we prematurely decide, I can come back again and again, it usually means we're being lazy. We don't want to put in the hard work to get out of here. But yes, on the advanced stage, somebody may be praying like that to come back. And Krishna may or may not agree. Just like Krishna sends his pure devotees into this world to preach, when he's ready, he takes them back. He doesn't leave them here eternally. Otherwise, why would there be any need to send any more? He would just send a few and they would stay here eternally. And so it's by Krishna's plan. Sometimes they come, sometimes they go. But in the beginning especially, we have to really want to get out of here. We have to see the horrors of birth, old age, disease, and death. This is not a nice place. These bad things are imposed upon us. Krishna himself says, 13th chapter, that one has to see the evils of Janma, Mrityu, Jaravyadi. Janma, birth, very difficult. And in many societies, even in our so-called advanced society, there are many times complications during the birth process. The mother is put at risk, the child is put at risk. Old age, again, those of us who are advancing in years here, we look in the mirror and we go, OMG, oh my Govinda. I look back, and again, I have access to the early pictures from the early 70s, and I see pictures of myself at the BBT, and it's like, is that me? No, it's not. It's not really me. That body was not me, and this body is not me. And the body has certainly transformed, like anything. Of course, some transform much slowly than others, like Krishna Pad was 63 yesterday. Look at him. He doesn't look like 63 years old. Barely he looks 43. So some people don't age as quickly. Like in one area in Pakistan, it's called the Hunza Valley. Sometimes it's spelled Hunza, and other people spell it Hansa, which is how we would refer to it. Where does Hansa come from? Hansa means swan. So from the Vaishnava perspective, it would be the Swan Valley. But some people call it the Hunza Valley. So in this particular valley in Pakistan, very far north of Pakistan, where it borders with Afghanistan and China, people there are famous for living to 120. That's generally their average age at death, 120. The rest of Pakistan, 67 is the average age at death. But in this particular valley, they live to 120. So scientists study them all the time. Why? Why do they live so long? It's a very mountainous region. There's only one road that goes in there, and it's one of those hell roads. It's so narrow, you would have a heart attack walking on it, what to speak of driving on it. When you drive on it, you're like just inches from the precipice going down this. So they live in that area, and they walk a lot. They walk miles and miles just to get, feed for their cattle and stuff like that. They drink only pure glacier water. They drink it, they bathe in it. The big part of their diet is fresh apricots. And for 2 to 4 months a year, they eat only the juice of dried apricots. They go on a juice fast for like 2 to 4 months. Only the juice of dried apricots. And in general, and they say another thing is that contributes to their long life, their longevity, is they don't stress over little things. Little things that go wrong, it just rolls off their back. They don't stress over things. But we stress like anything. Sometimes we swear at our computer, one key gets stuck, or you can't get on the internet, you swear. Or somebody says something not so nice about you. They don't care about things like that. They have their duties to do every day. They work hard and like that. But no matter how long you live in this body, 120 to us is a long time. But to a demigod, that's nothing. And then what to speak of Lord Brahma? It's barely the blink of an eye. So we're not about living long life in this material world. We see even amongst the Vaishnavacharyas, Lord Chaitanya himself, how long did he live in this mortal plane? What was Lord Chaitanya's age when he disappeared? 48. And we see so many Vaishnavacharyas, they leave very early. Prabhupada said about his own guru also, he could have stayed a lot longer, obviously, but he was disgusted. So he left. So the Vaishnavas are not about necessarily living a very long time in a particular body. They're about accomplishing a mission. So this is should be our motivation. Prabhupada has established a mission, and we're all supposed to work conjointly and cooperatively for pushing on that mission, and not stress over little things, the inevitable ups and downs. Prabhupada noticed that we would stress over all these little things, and Prabhupada said, don't think that just because you're chanting Hare Krishna, there won't be problems. He said, inasmuch as there are problems even on the royal roads, you're going to have a pothole here and there, or there may be dacoits or whatever. There is no guarantee just because you're on the royal road, you're going to have a smooth ride. Similarly, not just because you're chanting Hare Krishna, you're not going to have ups and downs. So don't stress over these ups and downs. Just keep your eye on the mission. He even said, he gave the example of a boat. He said, it's just like if you get on a boat from New York to London. Once you get on that boat, you don't worry so much about people fighting or not liking you or having this problem. You just know, if I stay on the boat, I'm going to arrive in London. What's the use of jumping off the boat? You're going to have a worse time. You're going to be in the ocean getting tossed this way and that way. So stay on the boat. Prabhupada established this ISKCON boat. Stay on the boat. Keep your eye on the mission. Keep your eye on the destination. And everything should be okay. So we'll stop here. Any questions, comments? Yes, Bhakti Devan. Well, he was disgusted by the fact that some of his followers... Oh, you didn't hear the question. The question was, what was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta disgusted by? He was disgusted by the infighting and lack of seriousness of some of his followers. For instance, he gave the example, Prabhupada gave the example, that somebody had given money to build a nice marble temple in Bagh Bazaar. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta noticed that instead of preaching, they were fighting over who's going to get this room, who's going to get that room, And he was disgusted. So he told Prabhupada personally, Prabhupada related it to us, that if I could sell all the marble from that fancy temple in Bagh Bazaar and buy books, I would do it. I would do that, use that money for printing. So he told Prabhupada, if you get money, print books. So Prabhupada took that to heart, and that's what he did. As soon as he started getting some money, first thing they bought was a mimeograph machine. And he started printing his Back to Godhead, mimeograph. You're too young to remember mimeograph, but you would type an original with many carbons, and then they would crank it through a machine and make more and more copies until it just dissipated, and you make a new original, and then you crank more, hand crank. So he got Brahmananda and Gargamuni and others involved, Rai Ram, in producing his Back to Godhead magazine as soon as he had some money. And therefore he impressed upon us also Don't be so, you know, disconnected. Stay connected to the mission, which is to give everybody an opportunity to chant Hare Krishna, be happy, go back home to Godhead. And this is the mission of the Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chandas Thakur reminds us, Sabhavatar Shar Shirmani, Kevala Anandakanda. Why are these Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana, Nitai Gaurachandra? Why are these two so glorified, this particular incarnations? Because they've come to give this very simple process. Chant, dance, take prasadam, hear a little philosophy, go back to Godhead. That's all. That's all we have to do. But the reason why we don't succeed or may not succeed is because we allow Maya to get back in and put us back in this fighting mood. Kali Yuga means everybody wants to fight at every moment over anything. Why you look at me like that? Who do you think you are? See, these are the kind of things that these people in the Hansa Valley don't stress over. Who cares why somebody's looking at you like that? Just go milk the cow or cut the grass or whatever you have to do, and don't worry about what somebody's thinking about. Who cares? First of all, you can't control it. I can't control what you're thinking about me, and you can't control what I'm thinking about you. So why stress over it? Just go on and do your duties. So that these two, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they've come and they've given such a simple process by which everybody can be happy now and go back to Godhead in a happy mood. But we derail ourselves by allowing Maya to whisper, look at that one, look at it. Well, who do you think they are? And then we just buy into it and we fall down. Or we delay our exit. Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.